Good morning, Flosstube friends. It is Thursday morning, April 4th. We have a beautiful sunshiny day here in Texas. We even have cooler temperatures after a storm on Monday night. I believe we had high humidity, very still air, and then the storm blew in, and now we've had sunshine and much cooler temperatures, and at this time of year that is welcome. I hope you are doing well. If you celebrate Easter, I hope you had a blessed Holy Week and Easter. We certainly did. It is always refocusing and convicting. And then on Sunday around lunch, we were able to share a meal with 4 of our kiddos who are, of course, adults and not kiddos, really, but we still call them kiddos. We are moving forward this week, getting things done that did not get done last week, and enjoying the beautiful weather. I am here for a cross-stitch catch-up, so I will not talk anymore about weather or what we've been up to. At the end, I will have a book focus, books actually. What I am here to share today are 2 fully finished objects and 4 whips, and I think that's about it. I must say a welcome to my old subscribers who've been with me with so much patience all these years, and to my new subscribers. Always know that you're going to find something about cross stitch on this channel, always a little something about my family because they are my life, and often something about books. In some videos will have a cameo appearance from Lucy, the miniature dachshund. Right now she is sound asleep, and quickly I will update you on Miss Priss. There are days occasionally when she is not feeling well and she will not eat her kibble, her treat, anything. And yesterday was one of those days, and she scared me. She was very clingy, absolutely disinterested in her food, but today she has made up for lost time. She has eaten like usual, and she is deeply asleep. So I think she's catching up from not feeling well yesterday. She is now 8.5 years old. My daughter found her official paperwork, and her birthday is October 10th. So in October, she will turn 9. And with a conversation with our boarder, one of the technicians at our boarder, who also has dachshunds, I am dealing with a senior dachshund, a little old lady. So we are looking at our Lucy with a little different perspective. If you are animal lovers, you appreciate my little short story about Lucy. So she will not appear today. She is really deep in sleep, and I hope will recharge today after not feeling well yesterday. But welcome to everyone, and thank you for being here. Let's jump into the fully finished. We are so excited. Guys, we have an amazing framer at our local Hobby Lobby, and he is careful. He will redo things without grumbling. He has an eye for color and for choosing frames. We're just so grateful to have him. And my husband actually took time this week to count all the pieces that he has done for us, and even sent in a commendation to the National Hobby Lobby, I guess, or to our local store, I'm not sure, as to his expertise and how much we have used his expertise and how much we've benefited. So if you have a good framer, you understand. And we just have not taken time to learn the skill of framing ourselves. We're just willing to pay a little bit more to have it professionally done, and this guy makes it worthwhile. So the first piece that we had finished is a small one. It is an architectural piece from the city of Natchez, Mississippi, And I hope you're not getting too, that window is going to mess with our, there we go. This is the house titled Montaigne. The graph was from a company called Delta Needlecrafts that was designed back in the 80s. That's how old this is. But since we are native Mississippians, we love the beautiful architecture of our state. This had been in my finished stash for a long time, and we just decided to bite the bullet and get it done, and without letting the glare mess with you. You can see the gold frame. We always go a little formal most of the time with our frames. And then my husband and the framer agreed that just this small mat, you don't need a big mat because you pay more, makes the frame bigger, really had this design pop, and we were thrilled. I wish I could turn it a different way, but I don't want you to have to see the reflection. So we are thrilled with this, and because of this piece getting framed and my husband loving it so much, he's asked me to pull out the whip that is the companion piece. And when you see this cover page, you'll see how old these are. This is another design by this company, and this is of the home called Longwood, and I am maybe a third of the way through. This piece used to go with me to work when I was still working, and I would do some blocks of color stitching on my lunch break. And so I've gotten a good bit of the sky and the grass, and I've got some more to do in the trees, but the building itself is the focus. So this is how much I have done on Longwood, and we would love to have it framed the same way, which is why he wants me to hurry and get this done. They would be sweet together. Now this is on 14 count Aida. It came in the kit. I mean, we're talking 40-something-year-old kits. Isn't that crazy? But just a beautiful design. And as my husband said, they're not too big. They're small enough to be manageable, but they're big enough to see the detail of the beautiful building and the setting in which it sits. So this is Longwood by Delta Needlecrafts, and it will be a whip that I will focus on along with a few others. I would like for this to be a finish for him. And then he will run it over there and we'll hopefully get it framed by the same gentleman in the same mat and frame, hopefully. Okay, the other finish is huge, fully finished, because you know it's been, if you've been with me a while, if you haven't, it's been in my whip pile for years and years and years. And it is significant to us because we love the country of Scotland. One of our daughters went to graduate school there. We visited several times, and I purchased this long dog pattern when we came back from our first trip over there. It is called Dankworth. It's one of her older patterns, but it kept giving me trouble. I kept having to frog on the stitching of this piece, and guys, finally, I finished it, and I showed it to you maybe 1 or 2 videos ago. Well, we have a finished Dankworth, and now we must find a way to show it. The morning sun is not my friend right now. My husband and the framer chose the dark green mat. Okay, we're going to try to go this way. And I think it is just the best. So many lovely bands of those unicorns and the European floral motifs. This was done on 32 count linen. I am not sure what the fabric was. With DMC, let me see if I can get closer here without messing with your lighting. So you see you have skinny bands in between the wider ones. And if I could just get to that top, which is, let me get back, one of the bigger bands. There we go. The dilemma now is where in our living room, dining room to put it, because it was stitched with that room in mind. And we're kind of down to one wall that's an option, so we're going to get it hung. But oh, people, every time I look at this, I think of our time in that beautiful country. If you live there, wow. And the time our daughter spent there, loving her time in the city of Edinburgh. And then our hopes to visit again. Finally, on the wall. I don't know if there is a stitcher, and I have watched several of her videos, who is just stitches amazing travel pieces. I want to say her channel is the Traveling Stocking Stitcher. But guys, I'm going to do my best to put her channel down below, because she has inspired me to pull out more of my places we have been whips and try to finish those. She does her own finishing, and I'm blown away, but to see her travel pieces will encourage you to pull out any you might have of places you love that you haven't gotten ready to hang on the wall. I'll put that down below. I hope I remember to do that. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 whips, one of which involves a first for me, and I'll share those with you now. Our friend and beautiful designer, Teresa Kogut, released a free Easter design this year. Look at that. And so I had to start it, of course, last week, but I didn't have any fabric. And you know I'm trying to stitch from stash as much as I can this year. I pulled my floss, all DMC. I'm not sure how many colors, doesn't have that in front of me. Not that many. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? I'm not buying fabric, but I want to start this. Well, Mary, my friend Mary Cat Stitches, has inspired me. She's my fabric dyeing friend to dye some fabric. So I pulled out what I had of an even weave. Well, you can see where I cut some to use. I believe this was 28 count. And guys, I tea-dyed it. I am just so thrilled. This was white. So I cut the piece I needed for Oh How He Loves Us, but I have this much left to do. Now, I could have gone darker with the tea. I could have soaked it longer, but my husband helped. He was curious. We pulled it out at this point because of what we're putting on the piece for Teresa Kogut's design. And this is what I have done. I did not have a lot of stitching time last week, but I hope you can see. The words are finished. Those are in a purple, and that isn't showing up quite as much as I'd like. And you can see that the Easter lily is started. I did have to do a little frogging with that white. Stitching in white is not my friend. I'm admitting that I struggle with it. But this will be framed in a hoop, which I can do myself. And what a precious gift she gave our community. So look at the picture again, excuse me. There are 3 large Easter lilies and 2 buds, and then the greenery that needs to be finished. So that was a new start last week, and I hope it will soon be a finish and then a fully finished. But my first fabric dyeing with tea bags, and I'm thrilled. Thank you, Mary, for encouraging me, and thank you all of you who do dye your own fabric for showing that it can be done. All right, yay. Now I want to do some more. My next whip I had to pull out because it's spring, and this was started last year by the Blue Flower. It is called Spring Quail. And if you've watched me at all before, you know I love quail. I grew up with them running across our yard out in the country. And then the beautiful dogwood. So right now I'm working on the big piece. I do hope to do the biscornu and the long pillow at some point. But I'm a little slow on this because I did choose a smaller count fabric And it's either 36 or 40. It's on my hoop. Let me see if I can read what size. Okay, it is 40 count. And the color is aqua. What do I have on my... Okay, so I'm just going to show you, oops, where we are now. I got a bud done. And more of the stem or the limbs. And I think I got another leaf done from when you've seen this. I wish the colors would show a little more authentically. These are so lovely. And on this aqua fabric, I just cannot wait to see a finish. I have enough of the fabric to do the other two pieces, the long pillow and the biscornu, so I'm excited about that. So that's the blue flower spring quail. I'm just loving this linen. It does not say what brand. Yes, it does. Witchelt, aqua, and 40 count. So that was from Barefoot Needle Art when I visited there last year sometime. Was it in maybe the late winter? Anyway. Commend that store to you in Surfside, South Carolina. Then the last whip for today, I haven't done much stitching, guys, so hopefully more next time, is my New Start Sampler by Hands Across the Sea. And it is either Rachel Sheard or Rachel Sheard, I'm not sure which, 1900, aged 82. And you know this appealed to me because she stitched it when she was 82. As I age, I'm hoping I'll still be stitching at 82. So, this is one of those pieces it's difficult to put down. My border met, I think I may have told you that, but guys, not only did I finish my border, but I finished my words and the little band. Where am I? Right here. And then I went down and worked on the floral motif and a couple of the flowers in the border. Now, you know, I thought I had my paper here that told me which linen this is, but I do not. It is beautiful linen. It's just a cream color, and I will look that up for you, I promise. But am I doing this? Yes, this is 32 count, and I'm doing 2/2 with DMC. I mean, once you start those floral motifs at the bottom, it's hard to put it down. And even the words, they got a little boring because they're all black, but it went fairly quickly. So this will stay active. I would love to see this one finished. It's kind of gotten a soft spot in my heart. And if you look at this again, sorry guys, sorry the hand went across, you can kind of see there's a lot still to do around the border and also those floral motifs, but I think they'll go fairly quickly. I am enjoying using my scroll frame, which I had struggled with, and my husband was able to figure out a way to have this fit into my lap stand, which I'll show you next time. We ended up having to put one of those jar openers, which are rubbery, textured. You put them on the jar to give you a grip. He cut one of those in half and was able to put it inside the clasp of the stand so that when I put it in, it wouldn't fall. I'll show it to you next time. It's a good arrangement. I'm grateful. He saw me one night stitching and it had fallen to one side. He said, "What's wrong with your stand?" So I'm very grateful that he figured that out because he's not into woodworking, but he will think of a solution if he can. Okay, cross stitch now is finished. Let's do a quick talk about books, which I love always, and then I will let you go. Have your day. So we browsed through an antique mall one day that is in our town locally, did not buy one thing except this precious book called Marshmallow. Now, this is an oldie, and if you have not seen it, I commend it to you. It won the Caldecott Award, but it's been so many years ago, guys. Let me see when this was published. Sorry, I should have looked that up. Well, never mind, it's not that old. Oh, yes, it is. 1942. But this book was republished or reprinted in 2008. Anyway, let me read you the back where it says what it's about. Oliver is a tabby cat who is always the center of attention. Marshmallow is a baby rabbit who moves into Oliver's home. At first, Oliver does not welcome Marshmallow, but the little bunny's charms are impossible to resist. This is the true story of how Oliver and Marshmallow became friends. What could be more fun than a book about a cat becoming a friend to a bunny rabbit? And these illustrations. Look at Oliver. And here's Oliver licking Marshmallow. They made friends. But sweet text, perfect for young children. Here's Marshmallow exploring. So that was such fun to find. I had just blanked it out of my mind. I had not remembered it, although I knew about it because it was a Caldecott winner. And to see it there in the antique mall, I was ready and enjoyed it now through the season of spring. The other two, and I don't know if I mentioned these to you or not, but I have just finished both, were recommended by a booktuber whom I enjoy watching, and I will have to put her down below as well. She has a large following. You would know her if you ever watch Booktube. She is British. But she did this book as her comfort book club read back a few months ago. The book is called Dear Mrs. Bird, and it is a World War II story. It is hilarious. It is very sad. It is all about female friendship as well as camaraderie in the workplace during difficult times. You will laugh, you will cry. I love her style of writing. And this was the author's first book. Her name is A.J. Pierce, and she was inspired to write the book after coming across a women's magazine from those times. And Mrs. Bird in this book is an advice columnist like our Ann Landers or Dear Abby back in the day. But the story focuses more on a young woman who gets a job with the newspaper or the women's magazine to type the letters for Mrs. Bird and all that goes on in her career as well as in her personal life and her dear friend's life. It's, oh my goodness, I highly, highly recommend it. Tiny, tiny bit of language, not much. And of course, as I said, there are times of tears as well as laughter, but so well worth the read. And then the sequel, Yours Cheerfully. And I have to say this one is happier. Less sadness, more happiness. Just more about the main character and her friend and their lives after loss and as they move toward the future. So if you have a chance, go for these. If you like reading about women's friendships, some historical fiction, you'll love these. I think there is a third one. It is called the Emmy Lake series because the main character's name is Emmy Lake. But I'm not sure what the third one is. Hopefully I'll find it. And next time I see you, we can talk about it. Or at least in the next few months. I'll be curious. Guys, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing anything in the comments. Again, I have not responded to many of my comments. I want you to know that that does not mean I do not love hearing from you and love reading them. the reason I do this channel is to be in touch with all of you. So many precious friendships. So forgive me that I have not typed a response, because I have read and I have appreciated. And move into your April with joy and excitement about the new season. I hope it will be a good month for you. Enjoy your stitching, and please let me hear from you. I'll do my best to add in the show notes the channels I spoke about that I cannot remember. And thank you. If you have any questions, please ask. Have a wonderful day. Love from Texas. Bye.